Now is the time to revolutionize your marketing. My name is Sue Roskoff, and I am here with the World of Ability Podcast Network, and I am so proud to be introducing your host for Revolutionize Your Marketing, John Petros Sr. He joins us every Friday at the same time. It is 4 Central, 5, live at 5 Eastern. John, how are you?
I'm doing great, Sue. Putting up some heat, but how are you doing out there?
Doing great. Always good to see you and find out more about how we can revolutionize our marketing.
All right, well, welcome, folks, to Revolutionize Your Marketing. And I've a very special guest that's kind of close to where I am tonight. And if you have any questions about keeping up your business with your books, this is the show you want to listen to. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let people
Yeah,
know who you are, where you're from, and how you get to do bookkeeping.
sure. Yeah. So my name is Kim Samuels. I am the owner of KS Bookkeeping Service out of Woburn, Massachusetts. I started actually in banking like sometime in the Stone Age, long, long time ago. I worked in, the ground was hot then. I worked in retail banking for about 5 years. I then went into mortgages for about 15 years. I was a loan officer, a processor, a closer, rate locks, just about almost every position that you could do in mortgages. I loved mortgages. I love working with numbers and I love working with people. Then I was raising my two young kids. I built a business with Mary Kay Cosmetics, selling skincare and cosmetics, and that I still have a little bit of a customer base now, but that was a lot of fun. I learned a lot there about marketing and how to talk to people and really how to like increase your confidence. And then I sort of just stumbled into bookkeeping, and it was really just a natural transition because I had been doing numbers all this time. So my passion really is to help business owners with their finances. But really, I always say that my two biggest strengths are people and numbers. But I always say you have to work in your strengths. So my strength is numbers. A lot of people, their strength is not numbers. And a lot of business owners, they're working their business. They're excited about what they're doing, but they're wearing so many hats and they just don't have time to sit and do the books. So it ends up at the bottom of the list, or they're doing invoices at 2 a.m., which is never a good thing. You always end up making mistakes that way. And then they come to me when it's tax time and they don't know like which end is up. Their books are all over the place. So really, I like to take that stress off of them. I always say, you have to delegate. You can't be good at everything and you can't do everything. So, let somebody work in their lane while you work in yours. The CEO of Coca-Cola is not out there sending invoices or like paying invoices. They delegate it to people. So if you want to grow your business, would you rather spend, 2 hours a week doing something that you really don't want to do, or let someone else do it and then you spend those 2 hours working your business that you enjoy and building it, and you'll get a lot further, a lot faster.
Yeah,
So that's kind of where I ended up, how I ended up, I guess, where I am.
it's kind of a interesting transition from banking to mortgages to Mary Kay and
Yeah,
then into bookkeeping.
yeah.
How
Isn't
did
that funny? How did that
I'm
happen?
just curious, how did Mary Kay fit in the middle of all of that?
Yeah, so funny because it was my first job in the mortgage industry and I was laid off, as I was many jobs after that in the mortgage industry. The mortgage industry is like this all the time. It's like a roller coaster. So I happened to go to a career fair and I bumped into somebody from Mary Kay. I had no experience with them at all, never used the products, never tried them, never knew anything about it. And what I really liked was that they were very polished and professional, and they really supported each other. It's a really just a positive environment we always say, follow the golden rule, treat other people like you would want to be treated, and really just praise each other to success. So it was just a really great place to build your business, but build your confidence. And I had a hard time with it in the beginning. I was like, I'm a banker. What? No, I'm a banker. No, I really struggle with it. But then once I got going, I said, this is really fun. because I do really like to talk to people, and we do a lot of tracking. So the numbers were kind of in there too. And then after a long, long time, as I said, I stumbled into bookkeeping and I said, oh, this actually makes a lot of sense. So,
Yeah. Yeah. That that brings back to mind. Me and my wife years ago got involved with Amway.
yeah, yeah. I don't know
Um,
too much about them, a little bit.
and we're getting kind of involved with it and going to different functions here and there. And they had a makeup line that they tried to teach my wife how to do it. And yeah,
Yeah,
that
it
didn't
just
that
wasn't
didn't
it.
go over too well.
That's okay. It's all right.
And I remember one year we went to our accountant. Just yeah, back then we had rental properties that far back. And I walked in with this neat little book with all the numbers written down in it that the company that Amway provided to keep track of stuff. My
Mhm.
wife goes in for her business with a little cardboard box full of receipts.
Yeah.
The accountant looks at the box and goes, "What do you want me to do with that?" He goes, "I don't think you can afford me to go through all of that."
Yeah. That took a long
So
time.
needless to say, who he liked better
Yeah.
that particular year. But
Right.
yeah, I with the businesses that she has now, I set up my own spreadsheets and keep
Yep.
track of everything.
Mhm. You can do spreadsheets,
And
but then people, as they grow past a certain point, the spreadsheets just don't really work for them. So we get them into QuickBooks, and there's other programs besides QuickBooks, but that is the most popular. And everything just
yeah,
connects right to the bank, and it's just a lot neater.
yeah, she started 2 years ago taking a course for QuickBooks,
Mhm.
but she wasn't too tech savvy at the time, so it
Yeah.
wasn't working out too well.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Work in your strengths, I always say, right? Maybe that just wasn't
yeah,
her strength. It's okay.
she'd rather be concentrating on her 4 businesses that she's got going.
Yeah. That's enough there.
And I did spreadsheets up for them, and yeah, she's not give me the information for the spreadsheet. So, okay, you're on your own. You can explain it to the accountant. But
Yeah.
so, how is the marketing going for bookkeeping? How are
Yeah.
you finding clients?
So right now, I'm having really great success with person to person. I do sometimes get clients through LinkedIn. Once in a blue moon, I get one from Facebook. So I do find them both to be helpful, probably LinkedIn more so. But I've joined a couple networking groups too, actually. One is a women's networking group, and one is sort of a spin-off from BNI. They used to be with BNI, and then they kind of broke off to do their own thing. And that really works well because sometimes I find it's being in the right place at the right time. So, maybe one week nobody needs a bookkeeper, but a couple of months actually have gone by, and someone recently said to me, "Hey, my wife's brother has been doing our books, but he's leaving. He's not going to do it anymore. So can you help us?" I said, "Sure." Somebody else, her partner, she has a painting company. She had a partner. They split up. She's has to literally just start over from scratch. And she really just wanted a clean break with everything. So she said, "Great, can you help me get started? Get QuickBooks set up, get me everything going." And I do a lot of one-to-ones. So like whether it's in person or by Zoom, where somebody you meet either at a networking event or a regular meeting, and you just go and have a cup of coffee or jump on a Zoom and you just kind of talk about, what do you do? And sort of what kinds of things you're looking for. Who can I introduce you to that might help you? What should I be listening for if I want to refer someone to you? Because sometimes you may not know, you might be like, well, sure, if I know anybody that's looking for ABC, but what does that really mean? And so the person can really kind of give you some more in-depth details as to what you're listening for, and you may just hear the right thing at the right time. And then you can refer them. And I find referrals really to be the best. And I know a lot of people do like to do a lot of online things, which is great. But for me at this point, I find Especially something like bookkeeping because it is personal. Somebody's handing you their finances, their business finances, so there's a trust factor in there, that you
Yeah.
have to overcome.
Actually, actually, now that I think of it, I have someone to connect you with locally.
Thank you. See, there you go. That's what
Someone that,
happens.
someone who's come to a couple of my events. I might actually get a hold of him and inform him of that, have him come Tuesday night. We
Sure.
could actually talk face to face. He came
Talk
out,
in person.
he
Yeah, that'd be great.
he posted a question on the Lineable platform today, actually. And it's got to do, he does bookkeeping,
Okay.
relatively new to it, maybe within the last year.
Hmm.
And the question that he's looking for help with, and he's even willing to turn this person over to the right person. And I think you would be the right
Oh,
person because
great.
it involves real estate,
Okay.
mortgage, something about a loan that they want to do
Okay.
away with or something. So I don't know the details, but I'll
That's
connect the
okay.
two of you up.
Yeah, that'd
Maybe
be
you can
great.
meet in
Thank you.
person on Tuesday.
Sure.
So, see, folks, that's how
That's
marketing works.
That's
You never know.
exactly it. Yeah, you just never know. You just have to be, we used to say, Mary Kay, you're not going to find new customers in your living room. So,
Yeah,
although that was
yeah,
also
that's
before the
true.
internet, but it's really good to just get out and just talk to people. And I know most bookkeepers are introverts. I tend to be an extrovert, which is kind of unusual, but that's just sort of how I am. But so even if it doesn't feel easy, just get out and go to like a Chamber of Commerce networking event. And if you're not sure what to say, if you're nervous, just start asking questions about them. People like to talk about themselves.
Yeah,
And that's what I did when I first started in Mary Kay. And I'm standing in front of a group of people and I'm like sweating or, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I just start interacting and asking them questions and talking to them. And then it just became a lot more natural. And then they naturally want to ask about you. So it just sort of evolves so that it doesn't really feel like there's pressure. It's just a conversation, just a back and forth conversation. And that tends to work really well.
yeah. That's like I always say, if it doesn't feel comfortable, that's when you need to force yourself to get up and do it.
That's true. Very
Just
true.
like years ago when I said we started with Amway, it was getting up in front of in person, yeah, in
Mhm.
in front of a few people and using a whiteboard and drawing out the plan and how the company works and everything like that, trying to get people to sign up. And well, some did, some didn't. Those that didn't, hopefully they would buy some of the supplies.
Yeah. And that's okay. Yeah. I mean,
And
I found that whenever I really, really didn't want to do something but I pushed myself through it, it ended up being better than I could have imagined. So like there's a saying, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And if feel like you're uncomfortable all the time, like start with baby steps. Do maybe once a week, once every few weeks, whatever. But the more you do it, the more it'll stack on each other. Even in my networking group, there's about 35 of us, and we go around the room and you have to stand up and introduce yourself. And I'm getting
yeah,
better, but even though I'm used to talking to book review, as it's going around the room, I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. As it gets closer to me. And somehow I always end up dead last, no matter where I sit. And I spend the whole time as they're going around the table, my heart is like jumping out of my chest. And then when it's done, I'm like, oh, thank God. But you know what? I just keep going back every week and it's getting a little bit easier. And so yeah, so you just kind of have to push through. And if it feels overwhelming, just do a little bit at a time. Just do little baby steps and consistently. And it's like building a muscle, it'll get easier and easier.
yeah.
So,
Well, that's what I do on at my events. I take a time and let I go around the room and
mhm.
just let everybody do a quick mention of what they do. And so this way everybody knows what everybody does,
Yep.
besides just looking at the list of names. Um, so I promise I won't make you last.
Thank you. The longer
I'll
it
let you
takes,
go
the more
first and get it
nervous I
over
get.
with.
Yeah, yeah. If you
But
get it over with quickly, it's a lot easier. Yeah, it's not so nerve-wracking. So yeah.
yeah, um, but yeah, like you were saying, if it's, I keep my daughter is my moderator for
Okay.
the alliance. Since she got me into Alignable, I
Hmm.
said, okay, time for payback. I'll make you my moderator. And she's kind of like, she's shy in front of people, so
Yeah.
I kind of avoid her when I do that, going around the
Yeah, yeah.
room. She keeps telling me in the beginning, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Okay, okay, you won't do. I actually one month I actually had somebody ask me, how come my daughter does it? I said, you go ahead and ask her. So they did. She had explained it to somebody that she didn't even know. One of the ways I'm trying to work her out of that.
Yeah, yeah. Like I say, baby steps that build on each other. That's the key to almost anything,
Yeah,
really, even when it's
yeah.
hard.
So how, in your eyes, how is the bookkeeping business going nowadays? Do you think it's
It's
growing or?
Oh, definitely. There is definitely a shortage of bookkeepers, as I'm finding the more I'm out talking to people. And I think a lot of it is you don't necessarily know where the bookkeepers are unless you're looking for one specifically, you know. If
Yeah.
you don't need one, you might see bookkeeper and it just sort of your eyes glate, whatever, you kind of, it's not like an everyday thing, so to speak. So people often don't know where to find us. So I am finding, yeah, that there is a need for it. There are, I'm told, which was a surprise to me, that some bookkeepers are not as good as others, but I try to see the best in everyone. So I was like shocked. What? So, um,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
So, but
finding there's a lot of bookkeepers on Alignable too.
oh, is there? Okay. Yeah.
Um, you are active on Alignable too, right?
I am, yeah, yeah, not as active as like LinkedIn, but yeah, I do go on from time to time. Yeah.
There's there is an in-person event once a month in Waltham too, during
Okay.
the daytime.
Is that the Tuesday afternoon one?
Yeah,
Okay. That's where
the
we met.
yeah, that's what I
Yep.
thought. Okay.
Yeah. That's okay.
I meet so many people, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's all right.
we kind of like teamed up, my alliance and the Boston Alliance. This way we cross promote our events.
Okay.
And yeah, you're kind of like in between both of them. So
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. I will get back to
we
the Tuesday ones. Yeah.
we have a lot of people that go to both.
Oh, okay.
Me and my
Yeah.
co-ambassador actually help out that in John with the Boston Alliance. Uh, I don't know what happened to him this past month, but
Yeah.
were you there this this month, by the
No,
way?
I was there last month. Yeah.
John wasn't there, and yeah, I don't think it was as good. The
Oh,
person that
really?
he usually has either me or my co-ambassador cover it because we know basically what we're doing. Well, the
Yeah.
person that he had do it, um, kind of didn't know what she was doing in a way,
Okay. Yeah.
and she had somebody else help her out with it. And yeah, I talked to a few of the people, and it wasn't quite as good. It was all right, but
Okay. Yeah. But he'll be back again
um,
next month, I assume?
we never know with him.
Oh, okay.
I've covered his Smart Connect a few times too.
Hmm.
Um, he runs the other platform that he has for construction workers
Okay.
and some plumbers, things like that. And he's kind of like the head of that, so that ties him up a lot too.
Yeah. Yeah. That
But
makes
he
sense.
he usually gets a hold of one of us to cover his events. He didn't that for that, and we were both there.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but we always go to his events. He never comes up to mine yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I think he's on the South Shore, isn't he? in your North Shore?
Um,
Isn't he down in like Weymouth or something?
I think I think he comes from Needham,
Oh, Needham. You're right. You're right.
which
Yeah. I
isn't
think
too far
maybe
away.
it might just be the distance. Needham to Drake. It is a bit of a ride, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
hey, he covers but he covers up areas up into New Hampshire and Maine. So.
Oh, okay. All right then. Well, I'll talk to him next time and say, listen, you need to go to John's meetings. I'll have a little chat with them. No worries.
So, have you ever looked into any other forms of marketing to get clients?
I did put an ad in my church bulletin for about 6 months. That didn't really yield me anything, but that's okay. That's kind of what I've been working on for now, like LinkedIn, Facebook, Alignable, and networking. And that's been working
I give
really
you a
well.
little information.
Sure, I'll take it.
It's cheaper to put a video ad on live stream, like
Oh,
Disney
okay.
Plus and Paramount, than it is to put an ad on
Really?
Facebook.
Okay.
A lot cheaper. I have
Okay.
access to quite a few.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to get some more information from you. Yeah, on that one.
So, yeah, it's relatively easy and cheap to do.
Okay.
I didn't believe what Disney had told me. And so the lowest they have is $500 a month
Oh, wow.
for a budget. So I
Mhm.
set up a $500 a month account, and it said I would have over 12,000 views. And when I figured that out, that came out close to 25 cents per view.
Okay.
Facebook is what, $1.50 per click now or more.
I think so. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
it's a lot cheaper and
Right.
the
Okay.
numbers are a lot higher.
Okay.
And if you follow the formula that we use in marketing, take somebody 6 or 7 times to see an ad
Yeah, that makes sense.
before they react to it, and then 30% of those that react to it will actually do something.
Yeah,
So
that
when you're
sounds about
talking
right.
10,000 views for $500, can almost say, can guarantee you get more than the 500 back, but you can't guarantee anything. So.
Sure. Right. No guarantees with anything except death and
But
taxes.
yeah, it's yeah, tax is the only thing you can guarantee.
Right.
Uh, but anyways, um, Kurt, I know you're going to have some great questions. You want to pop in here? I call him my co-host.
Okay.
Kurt runs the network, but hey, he doesn't mind being called the co-host.
There he is.
Yeah,
Whoa, look
Hello.
underneath the lights.
You look like you're at a carnival.
that's right. So this is where we go to edutainment here, Kim. So,
All right.
Kim, with doing bookkeeping and doing all the marketing, and you're, providing the offer out on social media and in person connecting,
Mhm.
what are you finding? Kind of moves the needle for you that somebody goes from maybe or maybe not really to what has that experience been like for how people didn't have a bookkeeper to they're with you and they can't imagine what they were doing
Yeah.
before you.
Yeah. Sometimes they already know they need a bookkeeper and oh, you're a bookkeeper, and they may jump on it. Other times it is actually just them seeing you somewhat consistently, as in like my networking group, I'm there every week. My local chamber of commerce that I belong to also has a networking group that meets every week, included in the fee for the chamber of commerce, the annual membership. And I was going to that meeting for several weeks in a row, talking about what I do, and I can do, QuickBooks cleanups and monthly bookkeeping. And it took some time before somebody in the group said, you know what? Wait a minute. Can you do like cleanups? Do you work with nonprofits? And I said, sure. So they hired me, and I can tell you their books were a mess, a complete mess. And I'm thinking, I've been sitting here all this time. Why didn't you bring this up before? Because these books are a nightmare. So it took some time to clean it up. And he even was new with the nonprofit. And he said, I think we had a lunatic running our QuickBooks. He said, I think you had a few lunatics because nothing was consistent. Everything was all over the place. So anyways, but it took me being there with him for probably a month or two every week before it occurred to him, wait a minute, maybe I should have you look at this. So oftentimes I find that's what moves the needle and that's why I say get out and just talk to people. And as you become more visible, and then people are like, oh, this person is here. I've seen them all the time. They're reliable. And then they start going, maybe I should ask about XYZ. So that really, I think, is one of the big things that I see moving the needle is just being consistently visible as often as you can.
So Kim, sometimes when we provide a service, we can say, okay, this is what you were doing before working with me, and this is what it was costing you. And now you're working with me, and, with being organized, we say, saving your time, what the value you put on your time.
Yeah.
Like, can you speak to that a little bit, to how the investment of you as a bookkeeper pays for itself over and over again?
Sure. So my favorite story, which is a recent story, a new client that I've just started working with, she owns a very large cleaning company. It's actually not in Massachusetts, it's in another state, and has not been keeping track of her books. She works with several construction companies where they have these like communities, and she goes in and she cleans multiple units. And they have their own website where she needs to go in and submit her invoice, and that's where she gets paid. But she wasn't keeping track of it on the other side, in the QuickBooks side, and making sure the two sides reconciled. And so she said to me, well, I think, she says, I know I lost money because I was not keeping track. She said, I think last year I lost $180,000. And I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, pretty extreme, but it just goes to show how important it is to stay on top of these things, because and I certainly don't charge $180,000 a year. I mean, that would be nice for one client, but obviously it more than pays for itself, so it is important to stay on top of these things. Yeah. Because it can save you money, a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, the whole idea of business and corporations and, being a service in some sense, or the core of what it all is, a money-making machine, because we have our prices and,
Sure.
We have our costs of doing business, all the terms. But the idea is, in capitalism, you run a profit. So the idea is, when, run effectively. And, some people, talk through being employed versus self-employed, being in business, and then being an investor where you let, money, kind of carry, a little bit of, working for you, let money work for you instead of you always working for money. Do you see that in your book? Does that come into the role you play? Do you play that kind of role at all, to say, with what I see in your books, you might have some room to, invest outside of your company, or not so much?
Yeah, I don't really handle investment stuff. I mean, I do have financial planners that I work with that we refer people to each other, so I might refer them out. A lot of times I'm really just trying to help them get their head on straight. So my tagline is clean books, clear vision, because if your books are not clean, you can't have a clear picture of where you are and where you're going. So that is one thing I love to do, is to just take that stress off of their shoulders. Don't worry about it. I will take care of this. This is my lane. This is my strength. You work in yours. And so because it often ends up at the bottom of the list. Oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. And then before you know it, it like snowballs. So I like to just come in and make sense of everything. So I can give them a report, and it's not just about giving reports, but it's to say, here is accurate information so you can make a confident decision about your business. You have a clear vision of where you're at. And so now you can confidently use that information and make a decision about where you'd like to go. And if they want to do investing, I'm happy to refer them to somebody else, but that's that's out of my lane. So
Yeah. So when you do reporting and stuff, does it get to where, like you got payroll, you got marketing, like for John
mhm.
here, you've got legal services, stuff like that. I mean,
Yep.
do you ever get to the point where people, shift, what they're doing with their money because of how you're showing
Yeah.
them these reports?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. And the biggest thing is when it comes to tax time, I can help them also save. Sometimes they have money going out the window with expenses and they're not really paying attention, or they're not taking advantage of tax breaks. Like for instance, I have a woman who owns a little like coffee shop type of thing. And when she first started with me, I said, so most people pay by credit card, I assume. And she said, yes. And I said, when you get the deposits from the credit card company, do you break out the fees? And she said, no. And I said, okay, well, you're missing out on some expenses. So I take every month a report from the credit card companies, and it lists out what people paid, but then how much the coffee shop paid in a fee, and I break that out into an expense. So you're losing money if you're not, but they're trying to run a coffee shop. They're not really, I need to sit and, take out $2 here, there, whatever. But that's something that a bookkeeper can help you with. And that's something that I would do that you really probably wouldn't care to do. And that would save you money. So yeah, the other thing is payroll, you've got the transactions that come from the bank that go into QuickBooks, and you'll see the transactions for payroll, but I then need to go in, I have to pull payroll reports from the payroll company and break out their taxes, because you want to make sure that they're reporting everything correctly, that the employee taxes, employer taxes, maybe 401ks or whatever. So you like kind of just have to get granular and just really break that all out. Again, usually the business owners do not have time to do those kinds of things. So yeah, and so sometimes they go, oh, well, that changes the bottom line, doesn't it? So yeah.
All right. So in what I do, and like with this show, I specify how marketing is, PR, publicity, advertising, promotion,
Hmm.
doing your press releases, participating in media, doing stuff with Alignable, all the things. There's a lot that really comes under the umbrella of marketing. Customer service is part of
Yeah.
your marketing plan.
Sure.
Direct selling obviously, is part of that. So with that in mind, I look at it that a mature, healthy, stable business has the ability to put at least 25% of revenue into marketing, and again, customer service, so when you market well,
Yeah.
you got to have good
Yeah.
customer service. So all the things, but sometimes with entrepreneurs, like a lot of folks that we meet through Alignable, they're maybe graduating to that level of performance, and
Sure.
maybe they'd fall at more like the 7% or 14%.
Yeah.
Are you noticing that kind of stuff in your bookkeeping, that it's interesting, how there's a broad spectrum of how people are doing marketing activities? Do you notice that at all?
Um, you know what? I don't see people doing a lot of marketing per se, and as I'm looking at their expenses, I don't see a lot of specifically money put aside for marketing. And they should for sure. But as I said, I think a lot of business owners, they're busy working in their business and they're doing what they love to do, and they may not be a marketing, they may not love marketing. So again, that goes at the bottom of the list, maybe just above bookkeeping. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. Might be a little war there. Yeah, a lot of times they don't like sit and say, okay, like let's put money aside for marketing. Maybe like larger firms, larger companies, and the bigger companies tend to hire internal people, and so they would be more likely to have a marketing budget. But like a small and mid-sized business, not so much. And you're right, they really should. But
So, so you're not a certified public accountant.
I'm not an
So,
accountant, no, at all. I
so
don't do taxes. Nope. I just help them to keep everything in order so that they're tax ready. So when the time comes and we're going to pull the reports to give to the accountant, they can be confident that those are accurate numbers. And it might seem like a simple thing, but even little things such as, when somebody pays you, you need to, every single deposit that comes in needs to be matched up to an invoice. Money coming in has to have a home, and so sometimes these are the things that, again, they don't have time to sit down and do. So it can be, a lot of times they think, oh, I'll just save some money and I'll just do it myself. And then that's when sometimes then they come to me and like, can you fix this? Okay, but so the longer it goes, the more money it's going to cost you to unravel it. Because as I start cleaning up the books, I might go in thinking, okay, I need to fix A, B, C, D. But then you fix A and B, and now F is running off. Like, where did that come from? It's like a snowball. You go down the rabbit hole, and it can be very time consuming. So yeah, so that's why
Yeah.
like don't let it go.
And part of the attraction of hiring you, in some cases, like you said, you do your work and then it gets handed to a CPA. And
Right.
for the tax ready side, that's one way you're saving money because you're not charging as much as most all of the CPA firms out
Yeah.
there. So that's where businesses like your service because they can kind of
Sure.
go a little bit more, budget friendly and a little bit more what they have in mind for ongoing service and
Right.
bring the CPA only for those specific things that they
Yep.
need
Yep.
from
Just bring
CPA
them
firm.
in to do the taxes, or if there's any, change in the way the company is listed or whatnot. So yeah, like so you can separate it out because you would pay an accountant a lot more. Like John, when you said your accountant, when you came with the box of receipts and they're like, you don't want to pay me for that, it would
Yeah.
be a lot more. And sometimes people come to me after it's been, they've let it snowball and it's a mess and they're shell shocked when they find out how much it costs because they let it go so long. This isn't like a 2-hour fix. It can take anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, because you can't work on it 8 hours a day. You kind of go a little loopy. You have to, do a little at a time and so they don't realize how like in depth it is. So yeah, yeah, you save a lot more if you get a bookkeeper and get one early. The other thing that I do offer is if you want like QuickBooks training, I charge hourly. I can kind of like if you're just getting started and you're like, I can't afford anything at all, but I need to do something, I can help you get set up in QuickBooks and maybe give you some training and then kind of get you going. And then when you feel like you're at least at a positive cash flow, then you can come back and get me on board and we'll keep things running smoothly. So something else that I offer too, but just don't let it like fall by the wayside. And then like a year later, at tax time, oh, I have to do my taxes, but I don't know where my receipts are and I don't know what all this stuff is. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah. So really for me in my business journeys, I've gotten to the point long ago, decades ago, I've been, coming in that with what I've been saying about businesses and like you're saying, like with marketing, maybe it's just like marketing's above bookkeeping. And I'm like,
Mhm.
no, unfortunately, John, I have to say that, Kim, with what you do, if we're going to talk prioritization of what you outsource and, kind of where you need to align your team, CPA, if you're going to go CPA firm, you got to figure that out first in your business. And then the work
Mhm.
you do, Kim, is, as we've been talking right to Kim with that. And then after that, you get an attorney and,
Yep.
then you maybe come to John and say, okay, now when your business is protected and,
Yep.
and running proficiently, now let's work this machine. And that's where marketing comes in to
Right.
work the machine well protected and all this stuff. So that's basically how I sort it out when people are looking at what they're doing in their business and getting on a trajectory. Because unfortunately, in 5 years, half of businesses fail. So this
Yeah.
last year, I've been spending time saying, hey, those businesses that got started up because of COVID, you got introduced to in 2020. Hey, flip a coin. About half of those people you met aren't around anymore, are they?
Yeah. I know. I know.
Yep.
And a lot of times it's because they don't keep track of what they're actually doing. They don't keep track of where their money is going. So I probably sound like a broken record, but it is true. I mean, and it actually makes me think of like a doctor, if you have a medical issue, if you go in early, it's a lot easier to catch it. But if you wait, sometimes it's too late. And, unfortunately,
That,
it's not
that
good.
actually is the perfect analogy because when you create a business entity like Mill City Marketing MA, John really birthed that existence of that entity. And so now he's like a parent of that birth child, Mill City Marketing MA, and you got to take care of that baby,
Mhm.
and so that's where you're right that your CPA and your your accountant and your attorney, they're basically your medical team
Yeah.
to keep that thing going. And then the marketing is kind of like like to look at it from a person is now you want to eat the right things or whatever. There's things that you do with your business
Right.
to do healthy things to this existence of a thing that you've got, and that's where marketing comes in, is to feed your business.
Sure.
you know
Yep. Yep. You got to have all the pieces in
Yeah.
place. Sure. Yeah.
yeah
If you want to be successful.
so you do some things for training, and then you have a fee structure for that. Have you ever done anything where well, I guess one thing is I'm guessing your bookkeeping business, like you've got some room to grow, like
Mhm.
your time's limited, but you've got
Yeah,
time available to bring in more clients.
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So have
My
you ever done anything like educate, like you're here on podcasting, so you're like public speaking, educating, we're not sitting here charging people to watch Revolutionize
right.
Your Marketing. Do you
Yeah.
do other Zoom events that are invitational where people can come
I
to and learn as a group?
No, not really. No. Might be something to think about. Yeah, I guess I just hadn't gotten there yet.
Yeah,
So not a bad idea.
because we here at World Ability Podcast Network, we do that type of thing. We actually have a gentleman in the realm of podcasting. Nick McGowan is coming to our network next week, and he's going to be doing we're taking next week to invite people to an open invitational on, kind of getting tips, tricks, techniques, and tapping the
Sure.
brain of Nick McGowan for what we're doing right now, podcasting. But we could do the same for you, Kim, in the future. If you wanted to set a time through John
Sure.
and us, we could do a sequel to this, but have it more of a, a private invitational, so to speak, public, an outreach effort to get attendance. But then we wouldn't live stream it. We would just have it be a Q&A and,
Yeah.
kind of let
Sure.
people do like what John and I are benefiting from, bring some more people in here and just kind of have a Zoom that's, not going live to public that way, but open for people to come in here and, take their part of this conversation and ask the
Yeah.
questions they want and be able to pick your brain and then create something where you started something and then you follow up.
Yeah, sure. I'd be open to that. Sounds great. I love trying new things, meeting new people.
There you
Absolutely.
go. That's one thing John will tell you. My role here is instigator, and we're doing this because I instigated him. A while back, we were helping. You were talking about nonprofits. John and I were working on nonprofit work, and then we came to the end of that podcast series. And I'm like, "Well, John, we've been coming here for this series. Have you ever thought of a podcast?" And he's like, "Well, kind of, sort of." I'm like, "Well, I could have you started in 5 minutes. You want to start? We name and we're ready to go. Revolutionize your marketing." And started like
Funny.
within 20 minutes of, he thought he was going to pop off the Zoom because we weren't doing the nonprofit one. Nope. We spent the next hour doing our first Revolutionize Your Marketing episode.
Wow. That's how
Fond
these
memories,
ideas
John,
come
right?
about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spur
Yeah,
of the moment.
that was just about a little more than a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Wow. See,
I've been
yeah.
doing it every Friday night since, live at 5
Sometimes I
Eastern.
think the best ideas are like spur of the moment.
Yeah.
There you go. Around here, they call it Kurt of the Moment.
What is it called?
Kurt of the Moment. That's my name.
Hurt
Kurt.
of the moment? Like,
Yeah.
oh,
So instead of spur of the moment, it's cur of the moment.
Okay, sorry, that went over my head for a second there. I got you.
It probably went over the head of most everybody out there watching and listening. So sorry, folks. All right, so John, you got need help up there. That's you need help. You're requesting us to help you, John.
Hey, after yesterday, I need help.
Yes.
But no, if anybody needs any type of business help, that's how you get a hold of me. If you need help besides marketing, I got 2,800 connections on Alignable. Guaranteed, I got people that can help you with whatever you need help with, folks.
All right, I'm gonna hit you up, John. She just told me that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'll be on
Don't hit-
Alignable in
don't
5
hit-
minutes.
Don't hit too hard.
No, I won't. I'll go easy.
But yeah, and anybody out there, if you have a business and you're not on Alignable, hey, join up on Alignable. You'll be surprised how many of the, say, 10 million businesses across the US and Canada you could hook up with.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just a few. That's just a few businesses there. Nice.
And I remember when I started 2.5 years ago, there was only 3 million. Now they're at 10 million. That's how
Wow.
fast. That's how fast the
triple, more
platform's
than
growing,
triple.
folks.
Wow.
And they're bringing in more AI and stuff. And yeah, and I just found out today that there's more integration coming down the road in a couple of weeks.
Ah, okay. I'll have to keep my eye out.
Platform just keeps getting better and better.
Nice. Very good.
So Kim, I can tell you're part of the family here, and I can tell you that with my blood family, I do have a sister named Kim, so I'm going to remember her name.
There you go. So if you forget,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, say something. Yeah.
I got you
Now
covered.
you won't forget.
Right. So
And
Kim,
on that
if,
note,
Kim, if folks,
I can't forget your name, Kim, either, because I have a niece, Kim, who was one of the Rockettes.
Oh, that would be great, but I'm way too short. I have these short little legs. It would never work, but I like the idea.
yeah, and I think Suno is a boy named Kim.
Oh,
The
yeah.
song was a boy named Sue, but I think Suno's a boy named Kim.
Yes,
We'll have to check on that later.
What was the show? I think it was the Munsters, like that little Eddie Munster. His real name was Kim. I think. I can't remember if I remember correctly, and now I'm dating myself, but yeah, one of those old shows back in the Stone Age. Yeah.
So Kim, if folks want to inquire about your bookkeeping or something with this show on this topic, how do they reach you? How do we find you?
So you can go to my website. It's www.ksbookkeepingservice.com. Service, there's no S in the end. And bookkeeping, there's 2 Ks in bookkeeping. That throws people off for some reason. Somebody says it's the only word in the English language with 2 Ks in it. I don't know if that's true, but anyways, yeah, KS Bookkeeping Service. You can fill out the contact me, or you can just call me directly, 781-757-3090. Shoot me a message or call me or whatever. Pigeon, whatever works. So yeah, and I'll be happy to chat. And, I also offer like a complimentary financial checkup. So maybe, you haven't had a second set of eyes on your books for some time, and, we can just take a look at it and I can see if you're on the right track, if there's anything that I would recommend or that I can help with. And that's complimentary. So I can do that too. If somebody just wanted someone to just have a set of eyes on it, that's another option. So.
Awesome. All right, John. Well, we're in the final minutes of today's episode. What are you going to do to wrap up this baby?
I want to say thank you, Kim, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And I look forward to seeing you Tuesday night in person.
Tuesday, I better be there. I think I'm going to be in trouble. I wrote it
And
down.
if anybody wants to get a hold of me, my website right there, or my email is millcitybusinesshelp. No, My email, my email is millcitymarketingma@gmail.com. You can find me on pretty much any social media platform, or find me on Alignable if you want Alignable.
Sounds great.
And that kind of does it for me. And just remember, folks, if you want to recap this or want to watch the whole thing again, simply go to my YouTube page. Go to YouTube and type in Mill City Marketing MA. Most of my podcasts will be there, even some that you'll find very interesting. That kind of does it for me, correct?
All right. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, great show. So yeah, for the World Ability Podcast Network, looking forward to seeing you back here for, again, our favorite show on the network, Revolutionize Your Marketing. I'm a guy that loves marketing. So John, thanks for doing this for me. Thanks for doing it for me, Kim. And yeah, we'll tune in next week again and see what shenanigans go down a week from now.